everybody for the third time. I am so sorry. I was testing my audio and I started the stream, but I thought I was starting a different stream. And then now I think it is fixed. I met Kate about 10 or 12 years ago because she took a class from me. Where?
At the Sew Expo in Detroit.
Sew Expo in Detroit. And so then she decided to come over for a lesson on, we were working on jean fitting while her daughter was graduating from Trinity College. And basically, during our day together, she told me she was going to open a store, and she was going to retire from her job, open a store in Montana, and then she did. And I had been having a blast watching all of her Instagram posts. If you're not following her on Instagram, there is a link in the description below for you to check that out. But I'm going to let Kate take over the story now because I want to hear everything behind her reasoning for starting the store. I want to share that with you and how it's going, and also some plans for what's going to be happening in her store in the near future. So I'm going to let Kate take it away.
Okay, thanks, Jen.
You're welcome.
So really, people like you are part of the reason that I wanted to open the store. When I figured out that I could alter patterns to make them fit, my mind exploded. Like, I was so excited. I had sewn my whole life, and I really didn't know, besides like adding some to the bottom of a pair of pants or taking something in a little bit or letting it out a tiny bit, I had no idea how to alter things to make them fit. And so, yeah, I was really excited to go to Detroit. My stepdaughter was living there, and so my husband and I went to visit her, and I went to the expo and took your pants fitting class, and you just made it seem so easy, and you were so calm. And another funny thing is that you and I have the exact same body. So I remember I said, I had already figured that out just by watching things, and when you looked at my butt, you were like, I feel like I'm looking in the mirror. So that was just really fun, and I learned a lot and was really impressed. And so, then when my daughter Charlotte graduated from Trinity College, which is just like 10 miles from you, I went to your house and we had a great day, and we fit a pair of your jeans, and I love them. They're still actually my only pair of jeans, and as I told you, I never put a button on, so when my tummy gets bigger, they still fit. I just use a different belt notch. I've actually changed them a little bit off and on, but I love that power that we have when we're sewing our own clothes.
When you say, and of course, I feel like we've had this conversation already since I think we started Zooming again, and we still didn't have it correct, but I don't put buttons on my jeans sometimes too if I'm in a hurry to wear them, so I'm feeling really excited that I'm not the only one who does that, so that was kind of cool. All right, so now what I want to do is just check in. I do have a few people who are hanging out with us, and I just want to say hi to them. And of course, I now lost that, so I'll get back to that in a minute. I had the chat in front of me here. So basically, Kate and I have been keeping in touch a little bit. Like we get together once a month and we talk about different things, and there are so many exciting things that she has planned in her store. And I don't know if you remember it was a couple summers ago, or maybe even more than a couple, I did a video on your Swatch Service. And yeah. I made a pair of swim leggings, And do you know I still wear those to this day? You have the best Lycra knits for swimwear. So I use my yoga pants fabric to make a pair, but I also shared a lot of the swatches, in addition to the one I picked out. So tell us about your swatch service. I know a lot of people love to be able to feel fabric, and if you're not lucky enough to live in Missoula and you can't come to your shop, I think this is one of the great ways that you're reaching out to people around the whole United States where you can actually send swatches to their homes.
Right. So I had the great idea that I would open a brick and mortar store and an online e-commerce store on the same day, because how hard could it be? It's been really hard, and luckily I love it. But because we have our whole store is on the web, and I want to support people. I really want for when people go to the website for them to feel like they're walking into the physical store, like they're getting as much help as we can provide when someone comes into the store. So we have really detailed descriptions of each fabric. I have a professional photographer who takes lots of pictures of them. But that's still, you still can't touch it through the computer. And so we have this Swatch service, and every quarter you can get 10 swatches of different garment fabrics. And this is our warm tone collection. So we do 2 collections every season, one warm tone and one cool tone. So whichever one works for you, that's the one you can order. And so you get 10 fabrics. They all go together into a capsule wardrobe. And underneath each fabric, we have what needle to use, how to sew with it, if there's any special tips and tricks that you need to know. And we also pair it with a suggested pattern. Also, Maisie and I make a video showing the fabric kind of bigger and talking about it a little bit more. And the reason that I put this together is that I've subscribed to Swatch Services, and it seems like most stores just send you like, here are 20 random fabrics we just got in. They might not look good on you, that you might not be interested in them, they don't necessarily go together. So I just didn't really find it that helpful or inspiring. So we just put a ton of work up front into putting together a capsule wardrobe for the season for both cool tones and warm tones. And because you get little pieces of fabric, and we also, it seems weird, but we glue them to the card. Because I also don't like when you get loose fabric and then like just a computer printout describing them, and you have to match them up yourself. So this way we match them up for you, and they're just on your card, and you can save your card and just learn about fabric.
And you're being a safety girl, because also people won't get hurt by staples. So I'm kind of happy that you glue, because I actually got a swatch card from somebody else, and all the fabrics were stapled, and all of the ends of the staples were on the back side of the card, and I actually pricked myself. I'm not going to say where I got that from, but I think gluing them on is a great idea. And I will tell you, Diane says that Kate has beautiful fabric. I want to say hello to Sandy, Susie, Sean. Yay, So Live Ceremy is here. Sarah, G.K. Hutchinson, Andrea, and Aisha. And then Marthann, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. She says she's never made jeans that can fit. She can't wait to try. And she says it's hard to find decent fabric. Do you have any decent denims in your collection right now?
Yeah, we do.
Ooh.
We just got a whole bunch. We got a bunch of them from dark wash to light wash,
Mm-hmm.
from like 10 ounce down to 6.25 ounce.
Okay.
And we have 3 bolts of salvage. Well, no, we have actually 4 bolts of salvage denim right now.
Ooh,
Um,
salvage denim.
that I know most of them. 3 of them have actually have stretch in them, which I was surprised to discover that there is salvage denim
Mm-hmm.
with stretch. And Jen knows all about salvage denim, but if you don't, it's only 29 inches wide. It's very narrow, and so it has 2 selvages. So, like, more of the fabric is actual selvage, and you can use the selvage edge as the edge of your pants. And it's like all the hipsters love it. People
Well,
who don't sew, like all the cool dudes,
mm-hmm.
buy Japanese selvage denim jeans and are like addicted to them. So,
I think I have the only pattern in the United States that's exclusively designed for salvage denim.
I know, I
The
love,
trick is though, you can only use that if you're a rectangle shape, because the side seam goes straight up, so you can use that salvage edge all the way to the waistband.
right. And I am. So someday I'm going to make those.
Okay. I just want to say, can you hold up the cool card one more time? Because
Yeah,
Sean would like to see that. And Sarah says, I greatly appreciate you test and include shrinkage information. Scooch it that way a
right.
little bit.
Yeah.
Perfect. And hold it up a little
Yeah.
higher. Hold it a little higher. And just hold it there for a second so Sarah can check that. Oh, not Sarah. I'm sorry. So Sean could check that out. Tana says many sewists must order online, and swatches are very important in making choices. And I said Marthan's name right, so I did something right today. So, all right. Yay. All right. So, yay. And Lynn says, yay, almost made it here on time. Well, Lynn, guess what? You missed all the bungles that happened before you came. So, you actually came at a perfect time because I screwed up a couple times to get this going. All right. So, Sean says pretty. Thank you for sharing that again. If you click the link in the description below to the Confident Stitch website, you can order the Swatch Service there, right?
Yeah. And at the top of the website, it says Kate's Swatch Experience. You can click on that. And then if you scroll down, about halfway down the main page, there's another photograph that says click here. So you
Now,
can
oh, sorry, go ahead.
join that way. You can join that way. Yeah, they're really fun. Our next swatches are going out on May 8th, so this is a really good time to
Ooh,
subscribe
perfect
because
timing.
you'll get it really soon, and they'll all be summer fabrics that you, and if you had like all the time in the world, you could make yourself a really fun capsule wardrobe,
I
which none of us really have, but every season I get so excited because we put together such a fun collection.
But you're doing so much work because sometimes my hard thing is finding all the fabrics that are going to go with if I want to make an outfit. So the fact that you have all that curated for people is amazing. Um, do you have a quilt fabric version of a Swatch Service? Because I do know, I mean, I'm a garment sewer and that's what I do, but I know we might have some quilters watching. So do you want to talk about the quilting side of things a little bit?
Yeah, so we have a quilting one called We Quilt This City, and we curate usually about 18 quilting fabrics every season that are seasonal, and we pull from all different lines to create a collection that you just might never have put together before. And we use those fabrics to make a quilt, and we use a quilt pattern, like a modern quilt pattern. All of our quilting fabrics are modern, and you can buy the kit for the quilt that we design. Also, all Swatch subscribers get a discount. Right now it's 10%, but I'll let you know that it's going to go up
Woo!
in November. But you get 10% off the quilt kit, and then I also design a small project every season that uses 5.5-inch squares. So you get in the mail a little stack of 5.5-inch squares of quilting cotton that go together really nicely, and you also get written instructions for the small project with photographs, and you get a video with me showing you how to make the small project.
That is very cool. Now,
So,
I did get a sneak peek of your summer quilt, didn't I?
yeah, you did with the popsicle.
It's
That's
so
really
cute. Oh my goodness. If you guys are quilters and you want a really fun summer themed quilt, their summer quilt is so cool. It's like I want to make it and I don't have time to quilt.
Right.
All right, Susie wants to know if you carry ribbon.
We carry some ribbon, not a ton. It's one of those things that can sit on the shelf for a long time. But we do have some really cute like K facet ribbon, and a lot of bag handles and webbing, and a ton of bias tape. Really, we even have Liberty of London bias tape, which is really
That's pretty. Jeannie lives in Missoula. We're so lucky to have Garment Fabric Store. So one of your customers, Jeannie, tuned in to say how lucky she is. I said, like, it's on my bucket list to get over there and see your store in person. Oh my goodness.
It's on my bucket list to organize you teaching a pants fitting class.
Ooh, it's going to be so much fun. Lynn has started quilting. See, you're inspiring people to quilt. I wish I had all the time in the world because I would do everything. Sometimes I try to do a combo or hybrid where I put quilting techniques in my garments. So sometimes I can get a little bit of fun that way. So Sarami says, bias tape. Speaking my love language. Aisha says, me too. Ooh, see, you're inspiring the quilters. All right, so somebody asked me, actually, Sarami asked me to have you talk about being a Palmer and Pletch fitting instructor. So we're going to switch back to garment sewing now. And so tell us a little bit about that, because I think that's a very organized, nice way to do fitting.
Right. So I am a certified Palmer Pletch instructor. Before I opened the store, I went to Portland and took like 5 or 6 classes from Patty Palmer and Marta Alto, learning how to fit bodices, how to fit jackets. I also took at least one. I think I took 2 pants fitting classes, but I still don't feel confident that I could teach pants fitting, but I feel very confident about fitting bodices. And so I have started a in-store demo classes showing people basic bodice alterations, how to read the tissue and figure out what you need to do to make it fit you. And I'm hoping maybe in 2025 to start more of a online Palmer Pletch classes, but I thought I would do that in 2024, but there's no way. I think
we know how that goes. We know how that goes.
So doing the small demos in the store are going to be really fun, and I'm learning a lot by teaching them and getting the live feedback from students. Like, I really have just taught one class. It was lengthening and shortening and adding width. And I didn't realize, like, people didn't know what the grain line meant. People didn't know, I was using a little yoke pattern piece to show how to prepare the pattern, because it was a small pattern piece, and people didn't really know what a yoke was. So I think I'm going to step back and do an even more basic things you need to know before you start making clothes, and teach that in the store, and then hopefully expand that to an online video.
I think that's smart. I'll tell you, I think I've become so good at teaching pants by teaching pants, right?
Right.
So you learn so much from your students every time you teach. Every time I teach, whether it's on
Right.
Zoom or in person, students teach us back, which I absolutely
Right.
love. Sean says, my sister-in-law is a quilter and lives in Wyoming. She comes to Bozeman all the time. I'll have to send her your link. Woohoo! Carol?
Yeah.
Hi, Carol. Yeah, so that's really cool. I did Palmer and Pletch at the very beginning when I first started. Before I was doing J. Stern Designs, I worked at a sewing store and I was introduced to Palmer and Pletch. And I think it's a really accessible method for people because it's got very nice, easy steps to follow. And I think that's very cool that you're doing that. And I'm really excited to see your 2025 online classes. But I laugh because I talk about doing the same things, and some things I thought I was going to do last year I didn't even do yet. So we'll all get to it. It'll be fine. What else do you want to tell us about, stuff going on in your store? I mean, one of the things that I love is that you do have that nice balance between quilting and garment, and you have really something for anybody or everybody who sews. So is there other things you want to share with us about your store?
So, yeah, our tagline is sewing for all. And to me, that means not just anybody from any walk of life and any orientation, any political thought. I mean, sewing for everyone. It means that, but it also means we'll meet you where you're at. If you have never turned on a sewing machine before, we'll help you turn it on.
I love that.
And if you're an award-winning quilter or, you've made all your clothes for 40 years, we'll meet you there. Wherever you are, we're here to help and, be your community and also your resource, whether you're online or in the store. So that's really important to us. What else? I mean, I guess, true confessions, I did not realize how, I thought I did need to have everything for everybody. And, how they say you need to niche down, and, I'm a little broad, and that's challenging, but I love it. I mean, I love to be challenged. I've always worked really hard. And so I do have lots of different audiences. I have my local quilters, online quilters, local garment makers, online garment makers, bag makers. We have a ton of gorgeous waxed canvas, a really kind of an unusually large amount of it, of colors and weights, and so we've got some really unusual things, and I just want people to feel supported, whoever they are or wherever they are in their journey, their sewing journey or their life journey. So
I love that. And you know what? That shows. I really want to encourage everybody, again, to go check out Kate's Instagram. If you're not on the Confident Stitch Instagram, there's a link in the description below. Check that out. Because she does a lot of informative things, but she does a lot of fun things. And sometimes it's just fun to watch. Plus, you can see they post their new fabrics that they get in. And they have so much information on their Instagram. You'll feel like you've already been to the store to some extent, just by following along her Instagram. It's such a nice mix of entertainment and information and new products, and you cover it all. I love it. Let me just stop and say hi. Hi, Janie. Hi, Joy. Sylvia's joining me from, I want to say Germany. I hope I got that right. Carol, hello. Oh, Sean also has cousins in Missoula, so she's got family in your backyard. So I think that's so
Yeah.
cool. Saramy says one of my favorite Instagram accounts, always funny. See, you have fans. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to ask you. If you were going to turn on your sewing machine and start sewing something the minute we get off, what would you be working on?
I would be finishing a blouse I'm making. It's out of 108 wide quilting cotton. It's teal with giant pink flowers. I worked really hard to fit it, and actually I filmed a video of me fitting it, but my videographer has not edited it yet. But yeah, I would finish that up.
Well, we can't wait to see that on your Instagram. You'll put that on there, right?
Of course.
And what is your favorite sewing tool? And can you get it in your shop?
Yeah.
Two-parter.
Yeah, two-parter. I think my favorite sewing tool is a point presser.
Point presser. And why?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I just love that you can, I have one right here.
I always love to ask people what their favorite tool is, because of course mine's the seam ripper, because I have like 30 of them,
right.
So I'm always making mistakes.
Of course. Well, I do love a seam ripper, but...
Oh, that is a great one, because you can use it as a clapper too.
Yeah, it's a point presser and clapper combination.
Mm-hmm.
And, as someone I'm turning 60 this year, and so I did have to iron my clothes growing up. And I just remember constantly, ironing a new wrinkle into, I'd iron one side of the sleeve, flip it over, and iron a wrinkle into the other side. I was just like...
Mm-hmm.
So I just love that you can isolate your seam allowance or isolate anything that you're sewing and not press a wrinkle into something else.
Yeah, those are very cool. They're cool for turning collars too.
Yeah, they're great for turning collars. I mean, we actually use this in our Learn to Sew crash course because we teach people how to make pillowcases with French seams and teach them how to press the seam open before, you sew the first seam, trim it, press it open. And so we teach them how to get into the corner with a point presser. And I just think this really helps things look super pro. Mm-hmm. And I love making good creases with the clapper. So
yay! That is a great tool. That is a great. What's your favorite brand of thread?
Oh, I haven't. I like my Gutermann polyester thread. What's your favorite brand of thread?
Well, I personally am a Gutermann fan too, but I've been loving the Mara 100 30 weight thread. And actually, I've been collecting spools of that because I enjoy that thread because it doesn't break and it's very smooth. That would be a good addition for your store.
Yeah, how do you spell that?
Mara, M-A-R-A. It's Gutermann. It's by Gutermann, and it's Mara, M-A-R-A, 100. And then I think it comes in two weights, a 30 weight and a 40 weight.
Oh.
So I really, it looks like this. So it comes in these 1,000 or 1,100 yard spools. And I've been using it quite a bit. And actually now, if I'm going to sew something, I try to find this over all of the other ones. I mean, I do have Mettler, Gutermann, and Coats and Clark has come a long way. Mm-hmm. I used to always say never use it because it's, yucky cotton wrap polyester, but they've really made it very smooth now. But I think the Mar 100 is currently my favorite for stitching
I'll
along.
check, I'll check that out. I also love Superior Threads bottom line for your bobbin.
Oh, that's a cool idea. And so it's
Yeah.
specially designed for your bobbin to go with all-purpose thread for garment sewing or quilting, or both?
Yeah. I think for both, but it's great for garment sewing, and it just erased all of my bobbin issues. Like, I just have a black, I have a bobbin that's black, I have one that's white, I have one that's gray, and I just use those.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a really fine thread. It's really smooth, and you can get a ton of it on a bobbin, so it lasts longer, and there's much less tangling or bad winding.
That sounds like a cool tool topic.
Yeah.
For the future.
And we have all the colors. So if you are a picky person who really wants their bobbin to match the color on top, you can do that too. I like to do things way too fast.
Well, I hear you with the white, the black, and the gray. I mean, you can really make that match almost any fabric, because when I'm serging, most of my serging thread is black, white, and gray for that reason. But it's interesting to use. I've never thought of using a different weight thread in the bobbin. The only time that comes into play for me is when I'm top stitching. I never put top stitching thread in my bobbin. I put all-purpose thread. But I'm definitely going to check that out.
I mean, the garment is pretty darn good in the bobbin as well, but I love bottom line.
So Sylvia says, and she is from Germany, and also Bettina is from Germany too. I have two ladies who come to my lives from Germany, which I think is so amazing. Although everyone is amazing, so I don't want people to think you're not amazing. Sylvia says, I thought of Kate as a quilter. I thought she was going to say a walking foot is your favorite tool. And Sean just said, I got my machines back from my first little seam is looping in the bobbin. I think it's my old red coats and Clark thread. I'm going to change it and see. I have Metler. Yes, old thread is not your friend. Like, so if you have like those vintage spools that look really pretty on a shelf, leave them on the shelf. Do not put them in your sewing machine. So that could be, Lynn says she would need pale pink and peach to go into her. They have all that, Lynn.
Yeah.
And you can order those. You can see those on your online store.
I'm not positive, but you could give us a jingle. You could call during work hours, and we can help you with that.
So that's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up. So if you don't see something on their website that you're looking for, they have amazing customer service. You can call them up. And actually, I've had the opportunity to experience their customer service, and I'm always blown away by how helpful everybody is. Kate's helpful, and her staff. She has a pretty small staff, though. It's amazing how much you guys get done and how much you do. That is very cool. Let me see. Oh, Patty says, it was probably one of my first sewing tools. I've had mine for decades. I'm assuming she means the clapper. That's very cool. And, oh, hi, Lane from Nashville. I love people from Nashville, in addition to Germany. I love it. I really want to thank everybody for joining in today, and I'm just going to apologize one more time for the rough start that I had. And Andrea's hailing in from Switzerland. It was a mini quiz because she put the flag, so I knew the white plus sign was a Switzerland flag, right? So I think that's right. All right, so, Lynn says yay on calling about colors. So there you go for thread.
Right. And I do want to say I do love a walking foot.
Oh, she does love.
I actually prefer a dual feed on my machine because then you don't have to have the clunkiness of a walking foot.
So which machine do you have? I have the Janome 67P, which has built-in straight stitch foot with a walking foot and a zigzag foot with a walking foot. What do you have?
Yeah. Well, I have a I have so many machines. So at home, I have my super fancy Bernina 710 that has, you can use all the feet with the dual feed mechanism or without. You can put it in or lift it up. And then we have a Boff here at the store that has dual feed.
They're the original.
And I can't remember what number it is. So yeah, it's just really nice to be able to not have the bulk of a walking foot, but you be able to sew with knits. And I also like to be able to reduce the presser foot pressure, like when you're sewing knits. So those are two, I guess, not notions, but tools that I really like.
All right, and I think you told me I did a cool tool a while back for that fabric ID tape from Kylie and the Machine. So if any of you are going to go shopping over at the Confident Stitch, remember, link in the description below, stick in a roll of that tape. Yeah,
we got it after you told me that your followers really liked it. We bought like 20 of them and sold out like in minutes. And so we have now bought a case. And I think we got 90 of them. So we're poised to mail them to you.
Yes. So that's, if you're looking at all the beautiful fabric, think, I'm going to start by organizing them when they come. So if you get that Kylie and the Machine fabric ID tape, that will be perfect. And they have it. So I think you should take advantage of that. Andrea says she loves her Bernina. Sylvia's making a joke. She goes, OMG, Europe is taking over. I love it. Oh my goodness, this is so much fun. What else? Is there other things that you had in mind that you wanted to talk about? I don't want to be the ruler of the conversation. So if you can think of something that you would like to share with us, I would love to hear it. And if you don't, I don't want to put you on the spot. So.
Oh. Well, just that we really try to have everything you need to make beautiful clothes, quilts, and bags. And of course, there's things that we didn't think of that we should have, but we have almost everything you need. And we also have the help and a really good website. The hill that I'm dying on is that we can sell by partial yards on the website, which is really hard, surprisingly hard. I really don't like when websites are, they say we sell by the quarter yard, so if you want 1 yard, put 4 in the quantity. I think that gets really confusing. So know that if you want to order partial yards, you can just put the amount that you want in the quantity, and that is what you'll get.
I think that's super helpful. I sell my performance sports knit by the half yard, and every time I get an order, I have to check with the customer. Did you mean to only buy a half a yard? And usually they said, oh no, I meant to buy a yard. So it is tricky selling fabric online. So I'm glad you can just put in, I want 2.5 yards.
Yeah.
That's super excellent. That's very good.
Yeah, it's by the quarter, so you can select anything from a quarter yard to, that it's by the quarter yard increments, and you can actually put in the amount that you want.
All right, so I just want to reiterate for everybody, Martine is asking, she wants to get the new summer swatches, but she's not sure how. She doesn't do Facebook. So the website is in the description below. So if you click on her website link in the video below, and if you don't want to look for the link, just type in the Confident Stitch, all one word, in the browser, and it'll bring you right there. And then she's got the Swatch Service right on the home page, right?
Right. So it says Kate's Swatch Experience at the top, and then halfway down there's another photograph that says, click here to go to the Swatch Experiences. So there's Garment for You, which is the garment one, and We Quilt This City for quilters. And
But think how clever that is. Garment for you.
Yeah, MEAN.
I love that. That is such a cool thing to call it. All right, so we have a few people chiming in with their machines. Bettina has a Pfaff from her grandmother, and it was this was what I really missing on my brother would be the walking foot, the dual feed. And then Carol says, I've been using my Husqvarna for 20 years, my second one, and I love it. And Sylvia says, my machine doesn't have that. I have a pretty old Singer, a plastic bomb from 2012, a vintage Singer from 1956, and an antique one from 1901. So
Wow.
None of them have dual feed. So in that case, you maybe do need to get a walking foot attachment for certain things. Do you want to talk about all the ways you would use a walking foot? Because I know you can use it for more things than just quilting.
Right. So, yeah, definitely when you're quilting the quilt sandwich, you want to use a walking foot. I actually don't know how to freehand quilt. I just use a walking foot when I quilt a quilt. And also when you're sewing the binding on a quilt. But, yeah, I definitely use a walking foot when I'm sewing with knits because you want the upper fabric to feed through the machine at the same pace as the fabric underneath that's being pulled by or pushed by the feed dogs, so that the walking foot makes everything go through at the same rate. Yeah, certainly thicker fabrics, slippery fabrics, I like to use a walking foot. I mean, I kind of rarely don't use the dual feed. I find it really helpful. Sometimes when I want to ease something in, like sometimes when I'm doing a sleeve, and I want the bottom fabric to go through a little bit faster, I'll undo the dual feed, but that's really the only time that I undo it. One of my teachers here says to remember baggy bottoms. If one side of your seam is longer than the other, you want it on the bottom with the feed dogs. And you can ease the bottom fabric into the top fabric. But
other than that,
do you agree with that, Jen?
I do. With my Janome 6700P, because I have both the zigzag foot with the built-in thing and also the skinny straight stitch foot with the built-in thing, it almost pains me to have to take it off to like use my zipper foot, right? So the only time I really don't use it is when I need it for something like a zipper or, you know, easing things in. Like if I'm doing inserting a sleeve, I'll put the regular one on so the feed dogs do the work for me. But it is amazing. Like people think walking feet are just for quilting, but you can use them almost all the time, and it makes you look better than you are. Well, I should say it makes me look better than I am. Let me say that. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I know that when I'm sewing with my dual feed, it works out better. So,
yeah. So, anything else?
No, I think we've covered a good amount of stuff. I want to thank you for coming on because, you know, I've been enjoying your Instagram and I love everything you put out, and I wanted to share it with everyone on my channel, and I wanted to, I don't know, just give you the opportunity to really sort of give us an inside peek of what goes on in the Confident Stitch. So I'm really happy that you joined me today, and I hope everybody enjoyed this stream. It will live here forever, so if you missed it and you're watching it after, that's wonderful. Or if you had to go, I know a few people messaged that they had to go, but they finished the rest later. So it will be here forever. And
I'll check the question. I'll check the video and look at the questions to see if anyone has any more questions for me.
Yes, if I remember to check. If I remember to check the little, you know, show the comments during the replay, which I hope I did. So if they're not there, it's because I didn't click that little box. But
okay. Well, let me know if someone has a question that I can answer.
Well, yes, and the other thing is we didn't mention that Kate does have a YouTube channel that she's growing. So
Yeah.
I put a link to that as well, her website and her Instagram. And if anybody has any questions on the replay, I will forward them on to Kate to make sure she gets them. So please feel free to post your questions and comments. We will help you. And I just really hope you enjoyed this, this little guest chat with Kate from The Confident Stitch.
Thanks, Jen.
All right, so I am going to end the stream, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. I will see you next week.